Hey, it's Roland again. And the Martians are coming!
The Martians are coming! Yes, and Mario is your only hope!
Picture the scene, if you will. It's the late 80s and Nintendo is hard at work on a new handheld system set to completely revolutionize portable gaming with the ambitious goal of effectively letting people play NES-quality games on the go. It was a great idea and was shaping up to be a huge step in the evolution of gaming. It just needed games. Good on you, Nintendo, for remembering that launching a new system with a Mario game is a pretty stable business practice. At the urging of then CEO Hiroshi Yamauchi, Nintendo R&D 1 gave life to a suitable launch title for the emerging Game Boy, Mario's first soiree into portability, Super Mario Land. I'm sure somebody was upset with that name.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed off when I found out.
The game was released as a launch title for the Game Boy in 1989 and was met at the time with favorable reviews. Over the years, though, more and more people look back on it as an awkward member of the mainline Mario games. It's pretty well known now that Miyamoto himself was not part of Mario Land's development in any capacity. The man was probably busy enough, so the game was destined from the start to be a little different. What I'm sure people expect is Super Mario Bros. On the go, and it ain't quite that. It's more the concept of Super Mario Bros. On the go. Good enough. It was 89. Do you think people had standards back then? Many point to Miyamoto's lack of involvement as the defining reason the game isn't worth the time. There is no denying it's a bit off when you go straight from Mario 3 to this, but even so, it was an undeniable success. It sold over 18 million copies, earning it its current title of the 6th best-selling mainline Mario game, above Mario 3, above Mario 64, above Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. That's quite an achievement for a game people often refer to as bootleg Mario. Be careful who you pick on. What I think the main takeaway is that Mario Land was an inevitability. It's like shingles, you just gotta have it. I remember always thinking of it as this mystical artifact of the Mario series. It was the very first portable Mario game. It had such this air of mystique surrounding it. I finally got my hands on it when I was 12 and I didn't really like it. It was weird and I was really bad at it. I'm pretty sure I only maybe got past the first world and could never get much farther, and since I was borrowing it, I had to give it back. That left a Mario Land hole in my heart for many years. Recently, I finally got the nerve to download it on my 3DS, and it was time. Finally time to return to Sarasa Land and see for once and for all if I was worthy of defeating Super Mario Land. I beat it in one sitting. It's not a hard game. So yeah, the magic of my childhood is dead, sure, whatever, but that leaves us with one question. How does Mario Land hold up today? Is it a neglected treasure, or is it just as clunky as people say it is? I think it's only fair that we dive in ourselves level by level and see what this thing has to offer. Trust me, it will not take as long as it sounds. Let's get started. Level 1-1. I'm in heaven. Now this right here is how you start a Mario game. I love the first level of Mario Land. No wait, no nonsense. Bam, you're right in it. Just your blocky working class self staring down the barrel of an exciting new adventure. The soundtrack sucker punches you with that chiptune goodness. You got a question block right above you to give you your first coin right off the bat. I ain't exaggerating. This level is a great way to start the game. It introduces you to just about everything you'll deal with in the game. Enemies, platforming, power-ups, secret passageways, all with enough open space to get a good handle on things before you move on. It sets this beautiful stage for you to play on. Then you start moving and realize it's funky. So fundamentally, this game is just like all the other Mario games that came before it. You move left to right, you run with the B button, you jump on enemies, etc, etc. It's how it's handled that makes it feel unclean. It's just off enough to be really jarring if you just got off of another Mario game. I don't know if I can accurately explain it, but I'll do my best. As far as just straight up running is concerned, it's okay. The momentum is a little weird in that there is none. You don't build up speed like in other Mario games. It's just, you're walking, and now you're running. It feels wrong, but I was able to get used to it after a while. The main thing that feels the most off-kilter to me is the jump. I might just be spoiled with other Mario games, but this jump feels so restrictive to me. You're pretty well committed to a certain arc whenever you jump, and it's based off of how fast you're going, but it doesn't feel nearly as intuitive as other Mario games since there's no momentum. So it's supposed to be that wherever Mario is and building up speed will determine how far his jump arc can take him. If he's standing still, he can only move forward a little bit. If he's sprinting, he covers a lot of distance. You get the idea. Since there's no momentum, though, those are really the only two options you have, and it still f***s up every now and then. And Mario falls like a sack of hammers. That combined with the sudden sprint Mario's got leads to a lot of times where I just ran straight off the edge of the platform. And oh mama, you have very little control over your descent once you jump. You better know where you're landing. In big open levels like this one, it's not a problem, but there's some tight platforming you gotta do in later stages, and that can be anxiety-inducing. It turns the game from a happy-go-lucky run-and-jump adventure to a really slow and calculated maneuver where you're constantly finding safe spaces to stop and playing your next jump. All that said, it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just different. Let's say hello to our enemies on display here. You got your standard affair, but just different enough to make you wonder why. See, that's not a Goomba, that's a Goombo. And these guys, oh, don't get me started on these guys. They're Koopas, right? But they explode. Why? That's cruel. That's punishing people who've played early Mario games, not to mention a bit barbaric. I guess they probably couldn't program the shell-kicking maneuver, or it just didn't work for the levels they were designing, but come on, that's mean. I guess you only make the mistake once though, so it's whatever. My actual main gripe is that they're really dang small. Yeah, they're adorable. I feel a little less proud of myself with each one I brutally murder, but given the uncertain jump mentioned before, it can be hard. Their hitboxes are so dang precise. And they put these guys everywhere, so you not only gotta figure out how best to jump on them, but you gotta have an exit strategy. I hate it, but I also kind of love it. Each jump feels a lot more strategized. It's kind of neat. But every time you bop an enemy, you have this little mini jump that you have to see through before you can get your bearings, so f*** this game. Even the power-ups are a little off. You still got your standard mushrooms that make you big, give you an extra hit. Sure, I don't question this. But the flower doesn't let you shoot fire. Is nothing sacred? Instead, you shoot super balls. Nice. This isn't a horrible power-up. It has a clear hit direction, it can bounce around, giving you a chance to hit multiple enemies in one shot, and it even picks up coins, but you can only shoot one at a time, so you gotta wait for it to stop bouncing around before you can shoot another, making it a bit of a pain in small corridors. I'm gonna be honest, I barely use this thing. Not because of that, but because I kept forgetting I had it. There's no visual indication that you have the flower over a regular mushroom, so you just gotta hit B and see if Mario expels something. I get that you can't change Mario's clothes when you only have one color to work with, but you could have added, I don't know, an extra hat or something. And while it is a nice thing to have to clear away enemies, especially piranha plants, it is far from necessary to get through the game. The only other power-ups are the star and the 1-up. The star is the same as usual, but this time when you have it, the music that plays is the can-can? Okay. The 1-up does the same as usual, but it's a heart this time. How sweet. It ain't right. There's actually a lot in this game that goes against pretty well-established Mario conventions, and I think that's one of the main reasons people don't look back on it as fondly as others. I definitely see where they're coming from, but you gotta remember, this was a new game for a new system being handled by new developers. It had to be a little different. I'm honestly glad they made their little tweaks. It shows that they took ownership of the game they were making. And the whole Mario formula wasn't exactly sacred like it is today. Sure, the whole world would collapse if a new 2D Mario game came out and they didn't have grass in the first level, but back then, only 2 games in the US really stuck to that Mario consistency. Mario 2 sure as heck didn't, so it stands to reason that each Mario game was going to be at least a little bit different. Okay, here's the end of the level. Now this is a neat gimmick. You have 2 exits, one easy one on the ground level that takes you straight to the next level, and one high up that takes you to a bonus level. Now that's a smart way of rewarding players who want to test their skill without necessarily punishing those who just want to get through the game as quickly as possible. That being said, the bonus level door is rarely that hard to get into, even in the last few levels, and on the 3rd level of each world I'm pretty sure just lets you play the bonus game regardless. The bonus game is always the same. Press A, stop Mario on a certain platform. There's a ladder that might change the platform he ends up on. It's a standard Wednesday night. It's actually very easy once you get the hang of it. You can rack up a ton of lives from it, but don't you dare get a flower when you already have one, damn it. Agony. On to level 2. We're in the sky now, being attacked by... You'll never guess what these guys are called. Bun buns. Ain't that just adorable? When you jump on them, they turn into hollowed out corpses. And that's about it for this level. It reminds me of that one in Mario 2. Yeah, that one. This is the one where I start falling off platforms a lot. Don't mind me, I'm garbage. Let's move on to 1-3. It's got new music, I dig it. This level is pretty straightforward as well. Easy peasy. I bet the ceilings don't even fall down. Oh no! Now there's this pipe up here that has haunted me ever since I started playing this game. I have no idea how to get up there, and by golly, I'm curious. Not that curious. So we kill some baby sphinxes and... Uh-oh. Now I feel remorse. So here's our first boss. I'm excited! I did it. Thank you, Mario. Oh, Daisy, you're a bee! World 2 time. Yeah, there's only 3 levels per world. Kinda lame, but what are you gonna do? Now, I gotta praise the music for a bit. If you've never heard anything about this game, you've still heard the music. Every single track is stellar. The score was done by Hirokazu Tanaka, and we all owe him our lives for this gift. I bring this up because the music for level 2-1 and 2-2 is my absolute favorite. Okay, moving on. This level has a bunch of fish constantly jumping up. Oh, my bad. Fish bones? Okay, they're pretty easy to dodge. They feel like they're here more for aesthetic, and I ain't knocking that. I think this might be my favorite level, mainly for how it looks, and it's pretty good gameplay-wise. You have a bit of platforming challenge with the fish and the ledges that are just spaced out enough to make you watch your step. I like it. A+. Level 2-2 is a robot named Mechabon whose only mode of attack is launching its face at you. A-. It has this alternate path that I have no earthly idea how to get to, but to be fair, I don't think there's any reason to go down there. There's actually a few of these strewn about the game, and I think it's cool that they're there, but you usually have to go out of your way to experience them, and at that point, why bother? The most you'll get is maybe some coins or an extra life, and you can already get more than enough lives from the bonus game. It's sad, because I kind of want to explore some more, but there's very little incentive. This game would have really benefited from something like the star coins from New Super Mario Bros. Just little worthless pickups to reward players who go out of their way, something like that. And that would have been cool, but I guess I can live without happiness. We get to the end of the level, and I just realized Mario's buttons aren't actually white, they're transparent. Huh. On to 2-3. It's a side-scrolling shooter now. Mario's piloting a submarine through barrages of fish and seahorses and octopi. You know what? I'm okay with this. It's not the best shooter. It very quickly devolves into spamming fire while you move around a little, but it's still a nice breather from the platforming. The best parts are definitely when you have to blast through these walls of blocks before the screen crushes you. The boss of this level is a big mama seahorse, so that makes sense. Well, she's dead. Daisy's a squid now. That's more like it. But now we're at World 3, and I feel conflicted. On the one hand, it feels like we got here way too quickly. Each level is not particularly long, and there's only 3 in each world compared to the 4 of the original Mario Bros. Or the 6 of Mario 3. On the other hand, this game wastes no time. It's bam, new level, bam, bonus level, bam, new idea, bam, new enemy. It's very concentrated, the levels are structured very well, and I honestly appreciate that there's no wait time between them. You aren't booted out to a world map, there isn't even a little level title card thing like in the first Mario, you just go straight into it. It works a lot better for portable play. Anyway, World 3-1. Easter Island? How do we get here? Oh, they're alive! Okay. Now I know to expect flying heads, I'm good now. Ah, hello, sir! Oh, I am so sorry! Let's get out of here. No, wait, what am I supposed to do here? Oh, you ride the boulder across. That's actually kind of cute, if not impossible. I like little things like this. It ultimately boils down to just waiting while Mario stands on a rock for a bit, but it looks nice, and you do have to consider the trajectory of the bounce whenever you want to get off. Alright, 3-1's done. Now, 3-2... I do not like. I don't know what the deal is, but I am ridiculously bad at 3-2. You got spiders everywhere, you got a lot narrower platforms to navigate, and these damn fallen spikes, like come on, how am I supposed to differentiate this spike from any of the others? I end up losing a lot of lives in this level, which I want to complain about more, if not for the fact that this game is actually very generous with its checkpoints. I never feel like I go back too far when I die, as sometimes it even puts me forward, and all enemies from a certain radius that you spawned are gone, so you don't just die instantly. That's really nice. It gives you a consequence for dying, but doesn't make you lose hope. This game, I'm finding, actually strikes a really good balance overall. You usually approach levels slower than you would in another Mario game, but the levels are short, so it feels good overall. The controls can make certain moments hard, leading to deaths that might not feel justified, but the checkpoints are plentiful, and you can build up lives pretty easily. You have the bonus rooms, and like in other Mario games, 100 coins will grant you an extra life, and they are not stingy with the coins they give you. In some levels, you just have whole areas filled with coins to give you an extra life. I like that. I actually really like how this game is shaping up. I still don't like this level, though. Look at what it takes to get the bonus room. I ain't about that. Alright, let's finish off World 3. This last level isn't really that memorable to me. It does have this part where you have to drop off onto some moving platforms, and that's pretty cool. It forces you to carefully consider the gravity, but it's only used twice and is never used again. We keep on trucking and run into the next boss. Now this one's a bit tricky. You have to time your jumps on the... never mind. World 4-1. New music, new background, I'm feeling it. What new enemy do we got? Well, that's just a guy. Mario, you monster! Ah! So I guess these guys are sort of like more agile dry bones. Okay, I can handle it, as long as they don't gang up on me or anything. Okay, end of the level. I gotta say, I think I'm finally getting a feel for the controls. I still don't think they're great, but they could be a lot worse. You just kinda gotta get used to them. Ooh, I'm running low on lives. I should try to get some more. Welp. World 4-2. This level is probably the tightest when it comes to challenge. You got pretty constant bullet biffs coming at you from all sides, these plant things that spit up into the air, snakes that shoot you on the diagonal, nearly every platform has a bomb coupon on it. You really gotta keep on your toes. Not impossible, not by a long shot, but it does force you to keep track of everything that's going on, even if you think you've passed it. I have no shame in saying this is where a few of my playthroughs ended. We clear 4-2, head to 4-3, and we're in a plane! It's basically the same shooter mechanic as in World 2-3. And what is a plane if not a sky submarine, really? Instead of fish, you got these birds, and let me tell you, they're assholes. When you get close to them, they jump towards you just enough to throw you off. Clever little things. I killed them all. I'm gonna feed my family for weeks. Alright. I may be a little slow at times, but is that a cloud vomiting birds at me? Alright. Bam, dead. And, well, hello, little one. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Holy shit. Whoa, gee, come on. I thought I was fighting clouds. Oh, man, I was not expecting that. That was cool. Oh, okay, what's next? Sadness. That was it? 12 levels? Really? Dang, the original Mario had 32. Heck, the sequel to this game had 32 as well. I'm honestly surprised it was so short. I was just getting into it. So yeah, Mario Land is really short. I guess I get it. It was one of the first Game Boy games. I guess they had to figure out how to effectively use the cartridge space or whatever. I'm just really sad they didn't get to explore their ideas anymore. That being said, it is a very tightly made experience. I liked each and every level.
Except for 3-2.
And despite its problems, it still succeeded in being fun from beginning to end. Now that isn't actually the end, depending on how you look at it. Once you beat the main game, you can start another playthrough and it'll be harder. And by harder, I mean they just slap a bunch more enemies everywhere. Now that makes some of the moments in later levels very stressful. I don't know how I feel about the reward for completing a game being something where you have to play through the whole game again, but for this game it makes sense. And people who played it and just thought it was okay can stop at the end and be satisfied, but players who really liked it can test their skill and understanding of the levels. I didn't think I would even play through it again, but I ended up beating it. But once you're in it, the extra enemies aren't too overwhelming. You can tell this whole idea was an afterthought because the frame rate starts to constantly chug with all these enemies on screen, and when you beat it in hard mode, you unlock a level select on the main menu. That's a really cool reward. If you like the game enough to play through it twice, and you've probably grown affinities for certain levels, so it's nice to give dedicated players an option to jump straight to their favorites. You know I went straight for 2-1, baby. Oh man. Now since I'm playing it on my 3DS, it saves the state of my game so I can access the level select after I close and reopen the game, but I'm not sure if it does that on original hardware. That would be kind of sucky, but the game isn't very long even twice through, so it wouldn't take very much to get back to it. So that wraps up Mario Land on Game Boy. Told you it wouldn't take long. I actually really liked playing this game, a lot more than I thought I would at least. It's still a very clunky Mario game, but that ultimately became an endearing quality the more that I played it. Like, it probably shouldn't be allowed to exist, but it sure is neat that it does. The unfair comparison I've been making all throughout this is how the game stacks up to other Mario games. It's not like other Mario games, but that's not inherently bad. For the future, I just know to play it for different reasons than I would Mario World. You play Mario World to have fun zooming through an expansive world full of lots of room to run, jump, and goof around, whereas here you gotta approach it carefully, constantly stopping to catch your breath and just seeing how far you can get in one playthrough. It's more precise, it rewards you for taking your time. Honestly, I would go back to it for the same reason I would play a game like Tetris, you know? It's the sort of game you just pick up really quick, start from the beginning, and see how far you can get before you gotta go do something else. See how quick you can get through hard mode. I can easily see myself coming back to it while I'm waiting in an airport or something and having a grand old time. While if I have a free evening when I decide to play a Mario game, I don't think I would even consider it. It's still got a lot of problems. The running and jumping are weird, the bonus game is a little overpowered, the alternate routes aren't worth the hassle, and all the bosses are a joke. As much as I've been praising this game, I do think there's a fair argument as to why it's not that great. But even so, I've decided I'm gonna stick up for this game. No more treating it like it's the runt of the litter. It's a worthwhile piece of gaming history and it deserves to be treated as such. I am going to play this game with pride.
Hey man, what are you playing?
Super Mario Land?